Okay, sixth grade. First, I'm just going to say I'm sorry that I didn't get this done before tonight, but here's a video for you on how to solve the problems where we're doing converting customary measurement. The main measurement conversions are these. 1 foot equals 12 inches, 1 yard equals 3 feet, and 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Those are what you're going to be using. And the order of smallest to greatest: inches is obviously the smallest, then feet, then yards, and then miles. You'll need to know that when you're picking which one of these down here to use. Whenever you're converting from a larger measurement to a smaller measurement, so if your larger measurement is first, say feet, and you want to convert to inches, which would be a smaller measurement, you're going to multiply. So anytime you're multiplying miles to yards, or miles to feet, or miles to inches, anything like that, anytime you're going from a bigger one to a smaller one, you'll have to multiply because you'll have more of it. So if you had 3 yards and you want to know how many feet that is, well, since there are 3 yards in every single foot, you'd be multiplying 3 times 3 because there would be more feet to make up the same amount of yards. So that's why you multiply. To go from a smaller measurement to a larger measurement, say you had the number of inches and wanted to go to the number of feet, you're going in the opposite direction, so you're going to divide, because every 12 inches equals 1 foot. So if you had, say, 24 inches, the first 12 inches is 1 foot, and the second 12 inches is the second foot, so it would just be 2. You'd be dividing 24 by the 12. So when you know what you're doing, larger to smaller or smaller to larger, then you have to choose which of these conversions to use. Which one is the one that includes the measurements you're using. So let's look at some examples, and we'll come back to this page in just a second. The first one here is 7 feet to inches. So we want to look at what we're converting first. We're going from feet to inches, and so that means we're starting with a larger, the feet is larger, and going to a smaller. And to go from larger to smaller, it says larger to smaller means multiply, and then we look, what is our conversion? We're doing feet to inches, so we're going to use that 1 foot equals 12 inches conversion. So we're multiplying then, so we'd be multiplying 7 times 12. So 12 times 7 is 84. So for 7 feet, we would have 84 inches. So that's it. So what we did again, we went from a smaller measurement or a bigger measurement to a smaller measurement, so we needed to multiply using our conversion. Looking at 36 inches to feet, this time we're starting with inches and we're going into feet. So this means we're starting with the smaller one and going to the larger one, which smaller to larger means we're dividing. And again, we're using that same conversion of 12 inches as in 1 foot. So how many feet are 36 inches? You'd say 12 into 36. And there are 3 feet in 36 inches. So we'd write 3. So that'd be like having 3 rulers, 36 inches. And 3 rulers is exactly 3 feet. So we just divided that. Looking at the next one, 6 yards to feet. So again, we're looking at what are we starting with? We're starting with yards. And we're going to feet, which means we're going from a bigger to a smaller. Yards are bigger than feet, and bigger to smaller, larger to smaller is multiply. And the conversion for yards to feet is 1 yard equals 3 feet. So then we look back. So if we're multiplying and 1 yard equals 3 feet, then 6 yards to feet would be 6 times 3. That would be 18 feet. Looking at miles to feet, again, we're starting with a bigger and we're going to a smaller. Feet are much smaller than miles, so we're going to be multiplying. Larger to smaller means multiply, and the conversion we'll use is this one, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So we're going to come over here and do 5,280 times the 2 miles, because each of those miles contains 5,280 feet, so to know how many feet is in the 2 miles, we multiply. So that's 0, 16, 5, and 10. So 2 miles is 10,560 feet. So the last one down here is 24 feet to yards. So we're going from feet to yards, which means we're going from a smaller one, feet is smaller, to a bigger one. And smaller to bigger, smaller to larger means divide. And we'll use the conversion of feet and yards, which is 3 feet in every yard. So to do that, we'd be dividing 24 feet by 3, because for every 3 feet we go, we get 1 yard. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So 24 feet is equal to 8 yards. Let's look at some other ones. There's some different ones on the page that we had to do. Whoops, sorry about that. This time we are taking a measurement where we have 3 feet 6 inches, we have some feet and a little bit of leftover inches, and making it just into inches. Here what we're going to do is we're going to look to see which one we need to change. Well, this is already in inches, so we need to change this one to inches. And feet to inches means bigger to smaller, so we'll be multiplying, because every time you go from a bigger to smaller, you multiply. And there are 12 inches in every foot, so we'd say 12 times 3, and that's 36. So we just changed this to 36 inches. And then we have, 3 feet is 36 inches, and then the 6 inches is still there. So what we would do is we'd add those together and get 42 inches. So if we have 2 yards and 1 foot, and we want to know how many feet that is, this one's already in feet, so we need to change this one to feet, and yards to feet is bigger to smaller, so we're going to multiply. And the conversion is 3 yards in every foot, so if there's 3 feet in every yard, sorry about that. So if we have 2 yards, that means we have 6 feet, 2 times 3. So if 2 yards is 6 feet, and then we had this extra foot, then we just go 6 plus 1, so that would equal 7 feet. And the last one I have here is 7 yards. 2 feet equals how many feet? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take that 7 yards and go 7 times 3 to equal 21. So that 7 yards is 21 feet. And then plus the 2 feet here. And so we end up with 23 feet. And that's it. I don't think there's any other kinds on your page, but if there is, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to do some more examples. And that's it. I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.